When the quietest moments of an opera make your heart race, you know you're experiencing something very special. And that's what I did today. I had a special experience. I saw the Met's production of Parsifal. I saw it in a movie theater with very few people, but I was so moved by this production, starting with a little bit into the third act until the very end of the third act. I was on the verge of tears and crying. It was just so emotional. I've already said what I thought about the singing when I heard the opening night on the radio, but seeing it today, the production was truly an extraordinary experience. There were so many scenes that as you follow the libretto, you can only imagine what the characters are doing. And there's really no way to fully describe how everything played out, except that I can tell you that even though I saw all the photos that were put on the Met website of the production, that seeing the whole thing was truly larger than the sum of the parts that you were able to view through the various forms of media. The projections on the rear of the stage were so dramatic that they just lifted you out of your seat and into the movement of the opera. So there are a few special things I'd like to say about the singing. It was magnificent. It was a great cast altogether. In the smallest role was the Russian basso. His last name is Nitikin. He was very good as the evil Klingsor. He doesn't have quite enough evil in his voice for me, but he did a very good interpretation. The only woman's role, Kundry, was done by Katarina de Leimann. I thought she was outstanding. It is a really hard role to do. And I think out of all the women we have today who are able to do that role, I think that she would be my number one choice. I haven't heard all of them do it or do parts of it, but from start to finish, she inhabited the role and brought great power to it. Of the three leading men, the smallest role is Amforta, sung by Peter Mattei. The sound of his voice is so gorgeous. I don't know what to say. It is just, whatever is your idea of the most beautiful thing, that's what his voice sounded like. And then as the beginning and the end of the opera main character, Gurnmans, René Papa, was as good, if not better, than I heard him on opening night. Watching him do the role, having that gorgeous voice, the beautiful pronunciation, the overall interpretation, he was just great. And as everybody knows, I'm an enormous fan of Jonas Kaufmann, but he completely outdid himself today, in my opinion. I thought he owned the role of Lohengrin. Well, after seeing him in Parsifal, if I were another tenor doing that role, I wouldn't want to do it. He was magnificent in every way. He was able to marshal all his energy and sing over the entire orchestra for his big dramatic moments in Amfortas die Wunder and in the third act where he comes back as the savior. And then there are parts where he sings so softly and beautifully. He floats the tones. The chorus, of course, was great. My least favorite part of this opera is always the part with the flower maidens. I'm just not a fan of it, but the production was really excellent, and it had so many things that made you stop and think. At the end of the opera, when Kundry lifts the grail and is allowed to die, It was one of the most moving operatic experiences I've ever had the pleasure or, of seeing. They're really, as you can see, I'm practically speechless. I don't know what to say, except if you didn't see it, you should definitely plan on going to the encore production whenever that is in your theater in your city. I have a feeling the Met is going to put out a DVD for this. I can't imagine them not. It was just stunning from beginning to end. If there is anything negative to say about it, it's that there are the two 40-minute intermissions. I understand why they have to be, but they break the spell. Not that you'd want to sit for whatever it is, 4 hours and 45 minutes without a break, but 40 minutes is a very long time. You sort of enter the real world again, and then you have to go back into that world. So bravo to everyone. The conductor was Daniele Gatti, a name I really didn't know. I had seen it. I thought his conducting was so sensitive. In the beginning of the opera, we were allowed to watch him conduct for a few moments. And it was moving in itself. And so I don't want to take up any more time. I want you just to all go out and see the encore production. Bye from Rona in Pittsburgh.